Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our show. It's called Tournament Horse Racing. Here's what we've done. We've taken the horse racing calendar and we've broken it up into four separate horse racing tournaments throughout the year. Each of those horse racing tournaments is going to go ahead and consist of 10 individual racing days, and that's actually what you're going to be watching tonight is one of those individual racing days. And during those individual racing days, each of our four horse players, which is going to include myself, your host, Richard Sharp, we will go ahead and make mythical $2 win place bets on each of four races at a selected horse racing track throughout the country. We've selected Tampa Bay Downs for tonight's activities. And what we'll do is we'll keep track of who wins the most amount of money throughout those 10 horse racing days. We'll have a champion at the end of our tournament. Again, we've got four tournaments that are stretched throughout the year. We actually have a year-end champion as well. That's how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing. That's enough about me. That's enough about the tournament. Let's go ahead and bring in our horse racing analysts in no particular order at this point in time. I'm going to stretch all the way across the country because I've kind of made them wait the latest. Ray Torado over there in Staten Island, New York. How's it going, my friend?
It's 12:57 a.m. and I'm doing great. Uh, I want to wish my daughter a happy birthday Thursday on the 9th, so her
Oh,
18th.
Melinda.
And
Happy birthday, Melinda.
yes, big year for her. Graduating high school, so yep.
Congratulations. All
Yeah,
right,
well, I'm doing good.
we're going to come all the way across the country here, just a little bit to the south of me. He lives in Temecula, California. Joe English, how's life treating you?
I'm good, Rich. And by the way, I will be preemptive and I will wish Ray and his lovely wife Marilyn a happy wedding anniversary. Is it
Mm,
what, 17?
19, 19.
19?
Oh,
That will
happy
be
Could have
during
done
anniversary.
it next week and
Valentine's
been
Day.
preemptive.
Yeah, happy
Valentine's
anniversary,
Day. Thank you.
everybody.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Ray, and many more.
Valentine Valentine's Day, no less. Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you kind of heard him chime in there. He's just a little bit to the north of me. Our final racing analyst, also a good friend of mine, Steve Newsom. We didn't see you last week. Nice to have you back on the show this week. How's it going?
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
Still hanging in there.
Still, yeah, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look. What we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And I guess before I say that, let me just go ahead and put a little disclaimer out there that Joe, Steve, Ray, and myself, we're all just horse players. We enjoy the game of horse racing, and we're not actually selling our picks or our opinions at this point in time. We're just horse players who really enjoy the game. We hope you do as well. We hope you enjoy our show. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and begin sharing my screen. I will take a look at what happened last week here on Tournament Horse Racing. And it was actually a repeat of the previous week, although not quite as bad as Slaughter. And Joe English manages to just nose out Steve Newsom there at the wire there, just by $1.20. I managed to finally get on the board for this particular tournament. Ray gets me by $11.40. So we'll go ahead and we put the check mark next to Joe's name. He got the win there. It was in the finale with the Holy Bull, as you see. Joe and Ray both had the winner. I'm trying to think. I what was the name of it? Was it Rocket Can?
Rocket
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Rocket can, and so he earned the Kentucky Derby points. I believe he earned, if I'm not mistaken, 20 Kentucky Derby points on the way there. So, congratulations to Rocket Can and his connections. More importantly, congratulations to Joe English. Again, Joe stretches out just a little bit there, but he's got back-to-back victories here in the tournament that we like to call the Preps. So this is the Preps to the Kentucky Derby race. This will take us right up through April of this year, and as you see, I'm clinging to last place bitterly there. So we took a look at Gulfstream Park last week. That was for the Holy Bull. This week, it's going to go ahead and let me go ahead and fill in those races for you. We're going to do an all stakes pick 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we will be at Tampa Bay Downs in Florida. Let me go ahead and close out my screen there. I'm sorry. And before we get to the track, and we did get this request out there. So we'll take a look at Saturday, the 11th of February. As you see here from weather.com, just be prepared. Looks like there are scattered thunderstorms developing during the afternoon, and those storms may contain strong gusty winds. You've got a high of 82. Uh, just so you know, I've lived in Florida before. That sounds just like, you know, kind of a normal day as far as Florida is concerned.
Typical land sea breeze interaction.
Humid, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We are going to be taking on Tampa Bay Downs. As you see there, there is an overhead shot of the grandstand from the rear. And as you see, a rather smallish, symmetrical track there in Central Florida. And we're going to start off with race number 7 as we build up to their feature. Uh, we're going to start with, again, race number 7. They're going 6 furlongs on the main track. It is the Minaret Stakes. The purse of $50,000 is for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is in post number 5. It's Caramel Swirl, trained by Bill Mott, ridden by Junior Alvarado, and 7-5 on the Tampa morning line. And Joe English, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the exact same combination that we used last year or last week. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Joe Ray Steve, or if you like the sound of music lineup.
Joe Ray Steve. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna keep riding this train. I'm taking the favorite. Carmel Swirl is on speed figures. She's just better than these. She's been firing bullets at Pacey Park for Bill Mott, and Bill Mott is never one who really cranks them up and makes them go 46. He's not a Bob Baffert kind of guy. But she's still been firing bullets, and she's been coming out of the better races. My big concern is that she's not a 6 furlong horse. She's only tried 6.5 furlongs one time. So the only concern I have is that there may not be enough ground for her. But I don't mind that she comes from off the pace. The outside at Tampa, from my experience, has been a better place to be than on the inside. So, and I mean, she has a middle of the pack draw, so the outside probably won't be an issue. So again, I'm just gonna ride that Mod Alvarado train in Florida. So 5 Caramel Swirl, right?
Um, I went towards. I mean, I like the favorite too, but the recency, the layoff, it kind of concerns me too, and the distance. But I'm gonna go for a little more speed. Number 2, My Destiny. Tyler Gaffleon, Herman Walensky. Welcome to the show. This horse has been, playing, running. He's got 4 in a row. You know, Delta Downs, Gulfstream. Basically, the optional claiming, nanos of one, whatever. And it's a little step up here, but I like the fact that she got speed, so she have a good position. 6 furlongs, just send them and see if how long it can last, and hopefully you don't get into a terrible speed duel. But he looks like a sprinter. He's got decent figures, so figures that are comparable here. So 5-1 for me. She's she's has a couple races recently, so still race off the layoff. So um, that makes me want to pick her. And so she's been working out good too, the Gulfstream. So my destiny for me, and I hope it is my destiny. She likes to win too, for 8 out of 20, so 40%. So, Steve,
Yeah, I'm on the same horse as Joe. I'm on the favorite, Carmel Swirl. Wilmot Junior Alvarado winning at 23%,
Mm, yeah.
31 races. It's a Godolphin horse. You know, can't go wrong with that either.
Mm-hmm.
Union Rags. Yeah, no, I'm going with the favorite here. It looks like speed figures are just outmatching the competition here. So
It's a Godolphin homebred, no less. See, even though she's a mare, that's Godolphin all the way. That's and Joe and Steve have already covered it for you. That is by far the best horse in this particular race. I guess I decided to go away from the favorite in the first race. I decided to play the old three broke guys ankle from a number of years ago. Let's go ahead and bet the horse who continues to keep improving. I believe that could be Dryferos, Terry Pompey, and Daniel Centeno, who is one of the better jockeys down there in Tampa Bay, in Tampa. The 5 Caramel Swirl does seem to be very difficult to beat. This horse did have 2 victories there at Monmouth, and then wins at Gulfstream Park in a 5-horse field. Hit the gate, had some trouble against the rail and things like that, and still wins driving away with Miguel Vasquez aboard. I was kind of hoping to see that maybe a Nick Juarez or Miguel Vasquez might follow him up to Tampa. After all, that's not a long drive or a long trip. But I also like Canteros a lot as a sire, and I decided to take just a little bit of a shot here in the opener. Believe it or not, if I showed you my notes, I've actually got the 5 in big notes, but since Steve and Joe also have the 5, I'm going to go ahead and try and get away with the 1 here. There's my picture of Tampa, and we'll say goodbye to Tampa and bring this one up here. Go 5, and Ray's got the 2. Steve's got the 5. I swear to God, I've got the 5 on my page. But I did enjoy the 1, and being in that 4th slot, being in the kind of in the crouch and perch position, I can go ahead and make some decisions on the fly here before we move along to race number 8. And as I mentioned today, Tampa does feature all stakes here between races 7 and 10. And this race is going to be going 6 furlongs on the main surface. It's the Pelican Stakes. Purse is $100,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upward. Your morning line favorite is in post number 5. It's Sibelius, trained by Jeremiah O'Dwyer and ridden by Junior Alvarado. 9-5 on the Tampa morning line. And Mr. Torado, you're up first.
All right. I went a little bit to the outside. Number 7, Uphold the Law. This horse has raced 5 times with 5 layoff lines. So for me, for this horse to run again, again within what 3 weeks, you know, it's he's a gelding. He's 5 years old. So for the trainer Stidham, which very respectful, he's got a good winning record. The 19%, and he's pretty formidable
Wow.
down there. For him to run him back, within 3 or 4 weeks in this race, he might be
Yeah.
decent. He's 4 out of 5. I mean, I gotta be you know. So at least I'm happy that he's running. He's running, and he's been favored, very heavily at the last few races, and he's 4 out of 5. So it was 8-1. Paulo Morales, who's got good percentages and the EP types, he just has some speed. So he'll be fully placed. But one clinker back in what was that Colonial Downs, which is out there in Virginia. So,
I,
he was in
yeah.
front. He just tired out. So, but I'm on this horse. Sprint, low speed. Let's try it. Getting back to the second time. After that other layoff. So, Joe or Steve.
All right. Yeah, I went with the 2 here. Paco's Pico. Tyler Gaffley on aboard. Horse has got some experience at the distance, 6 races, 2, 3, and 1. So a result in each one of those. Again, another Godolphin horse. Thinks the breeder. And by Candy Ride. Yeah, horses won a few races here and there. So yeah, and see if we can recreate some magic from a few races back.
Next, I'm actually pushing my chips in with Mr. Torado. I'm actually back on Uphold the Law. I thought that was an interesting pattern as well. If it wasn't for the fact that it's Michael Stidham, I might be a little bit more worried that a 5-year-old has raced Ray. I think as you point out exactly 5 times, since March of 2021. Heck, this show, I mean, this show, well, we were in our second season, I guess, that year since we started in 2020. But that that's certainly an interesting pattern as far as that's concerned. However, winning 4 out of 5 and being with Michael Stidham, Pablo Morales is a very good jockey there in Tampa, and of course that's exactly where we are. And the horses went 2 out of 3 at that distance, and obviously it has shown by winning 4 out of 5 and always being on a layoff. The horse has shown he can run off a layoff. Hopefully, as Ray pointed out earlier, he can run on regular rest as well. So I went ahead and went with the 7 as well. I've got uphold the law.
So do I, fellas. So do I.
Damn.
What do
I
you
did
mean?
a little digging and saw that the horse. This was a Stidham. This was more a Stidham Morales play. When he's shipped sprinters into Tampa and he's ridden Morales, he's 4 out of 9. Again, it's really not a big sample size, and most of the horses that he had won with were lower class animals. But obviously, Morales is the go-to guy when Stidham goes to Tampa. Again, Ray and Rich already mentioned just about everything they need to know about the 7. So I was trying to stay away from the favorite in every race, so I wanted to take the 7, uphold the law here. No, it's not a blocking method at
No, not
all.
no,
I,
no, that's a little.
No.
I
It's,
am
Leaving me
telling
a
you.
hole. That's what he's doing.
it's
He
a
doesn't want to
No,
gain ground on him. I see the
uh,
tactic.
no, no.
third
Believe me,
race.
if Sibelius was a little bit higher, I probably would have taken it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to keep taking horses with 5s in their odds as the second number.
I think Joe knows it's gonna be a late jockey change
5,
of
9 to 5.
Irad OT. This he knows. Late jockey change, Irad OTs, huh?
Oh boy.
There goes the price.
No, I read suspended this weekend. So if anybody's looking for Irad, he is not riding
Oh,
anywhere
really? Huh.
because he was suspended for something he did at Gulfstream, and
Oh.
I believe he's back on Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure. I know he's suspended.
Who did he push out of the way?
I don't know if probably Paco Lopez, but who knows?
All right. Yeah, here we go. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move along to the 9th race. And I will actually ask for a little bit of assistance here for my teammates. I just looked up the Sam F. Davis, but they're going 1 mile and 40 yards here. This one's the Suncoast Stakes. The purse $150,000. It's for filly 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite, you don't have to look very far. She's right there. Post number 1, Wonder Wheel, trained by Mark Casse and ridden by Tyler Gaffalione. She's the even money favorite here at Tampa Bay. And Steve, you're going to go ahead and kick us off. And as it shows here, before I hand that over to Steve, I guess you'd say, they've got the important reminder, gentlemen, right in the middle of the page, right? Important reminder that certain finishing positions in this race are going to earn points to qualify the Kentucky Oaks.
Hmm.
I've got the Kentucky Derby points up, but I forgot to look up the Oaks. But this is pursuant to the official rules for the road to the Kentucky
So why don't
Oaks.
they tell you what finishing positions?
I have no idea what those are. Like I said, I just looked up the
I
Derby
mean,
for us.
it's not
It's the same thing in
fourth
the
through
IRA.
seventh, I'm sure.
It
No,
should
it's
be like
probably
first,
first through
second,
fifth.
first, fourth, or yeah. Steve,
Anyway,
All the Derby
yeah.
races now are
Sorry,
first
yeah,
I
through
that
didn't.
fifth.
just seems like a
Yeah, I didn't
silly
intend to.
disclaimer.
Yeah, I didn't
Anyway,
intend to distract, but go ahead, Mr. Newsom. Tell us who you like here in the Suncoast Stakes, which apparently is going to determine who's going to the Kentucky Oaks, but we're not going to know exactly how.
it depends on what place they finish.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going for the 9. Julia Shining. Louis Saez and Todd Fletcher there, winning at 25%. Horse has won its last 2 races. It's like speed figures continue to improve. She's by curling. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with not quite the favorite. Maybe end up being the favorite. Who knows?
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
Julie
possibility.
Shining for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, but and that was that was a fairly good analysis as well of the horse that I'm picking. I'm also going with the 9, Julia Shining. I like of course, the Fletcher Louis Saez combination is tasty. Um, this is probably actually a little bit low for them, 25%. The horse is undefeated. We say that on this show all the time. Beware those undefeated horses. And she has a little bit more of a closing style. Julia Shining does in this particular race. I realize it's not a huge distance race. They're going that 1 mile and 40 yards. Again, I know I've discussed this with Joe and Ray before. Kind of that odd intermittent distance. I mean, how many times do we look out there and say, "Wait a minute, 8.2 furlongs"? It doesn't happen all that often. And in this particular case, it's actually a speed bearing race, right? When you look at it there, it's 83% of the time, if I'm not mistaken. This horse goes to horses. This race goes to horses that are on the lead, and as a result, in this particular race, it looks like every single horse has pace, which is what led me to go ahead and try and take a shot with a horse that maybe is going to come off the pace in something that hope. I know we talk about this as well, but I'm hoping that this sets it up for a Julia Shining. So I went to 9.
Yeah, this is going to sound really terrible.
You did the same thing, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah. Well, I have a reason that I'm on Julia Shining as well.
Uh-oh.
A different reason than anybody's already mentioned. Julia Shining, if you don't know, is a full sister to last year's champion filly Malathot from the same barn.
Oh, crap.
And Malathot won her first 5 races in her career. And because there's some possibility of rain in the forecast, I looked at that as well. And Malathot
Oh,
actually won 2 races in off going. Actually, one on a good track and one in the muddy track. So, and I see Julia Shining won the Demoiselle in an off track. So, it's not just because everybody else is picking the 9. There's a reason to pick the 9. And I think Wonder Wheel, not the Wonder, she's got, and Julia Shining's got the outside post as well. And I don't mind, again, like I said, my experience with Tampa is that the outside of the track does better than the inside on dirt generally. So I'm just thinking that she's the now horse for this time. Wonder Wheel already has Kentucky Oaks points and probably does not need this race as much as Julia Shining might. So I'm going to take that into consideration as well. So I'm also on the 9. Sorry, guys. Right?
Yeah, it's I think we should single this horse. I'm also on the
oh,
9. I'm on the
That means
9
she's gonna.
of
That means
Wow,
she's dead.
that's
Off
dangerous.
the board.
um
Next.
yeah, next, because I mean, what
Next.
else can
Off
I
the board.
say?
Next.
What else can I say?
Wow, that's crazy.
She what got the distance.
Huh.
It was a decent race for Aqueduct. She came home fast. It seems to be
that's a good point. Yeah, she did.
uh,
I didn't realize that. Yeah, she did come home
uh,
fast.
a timely a
Almost makes me
timely
want to change the
15
8.
a
seconds.
timely ride to get home. She got up. It was probably a race that she shouldn't have won, but it looks like her class got her to the wire because
She reminds me
those
a
races
lot
in
of
Aqueduct, when
Malathot.
you're coming off the pace like that in a slow pace, 114,
Rick.
140, you ain't winning. So the fact that she won means she knows how to win. So she could grind it out. So this might be
Hey,
an easier spot for her. So
there was a race at Aqueduct that Malathot won that she had gotten boxed in on the rail, had no business winning,
so
and she found a way. It's like I said, she's a full sister to Malathot. So my guess is she's got a lot of those same qualities. So
mm.
At least I can say you guys copied me this time.
We're blocking you, Steve.
Yeah, congratulations.
I did take a
Well,
brief. I
I'm
did take a
blocking
brief
everyone.
look at Dreaming of Snow, who could go out there and wing it and maybe hold on for a cheap win on the lead.
No, I kind of wish, yeah, exactly. Kind of wish I had saved it for that one, but
But
all right, here we go.
Hmm.
This is the. I'm pretty sure I got everybody's picks correct on that last race, and here we go. We're on to race number 10. This is the feature of the day. They're going a mile and a 16th on the main track, and this is the Sam F. Davis Stakes. It is a grade 3. Purse is $250,000. It's for 3-year-olds only. And before we move on to that, let's go ahead and check that one out. As you see here, if I'm not mistaken, the Sam F. Davis Stakes at Tampa Bay Downs, which will be tomorrow, is worth 20 points to the winner as far as Kentucky Derby points. 8, 6, 4, and 2, as Joe English called it correctly. The top 5 finishers will go ahead and collect Kentucky Derby points tomorrow at Tampa Bay in this race. Your morning line favorite is in post number 7. I hope I have this right. WNL, trained by Danny Gargan and ridden by Jose Ortiz, is 9-5 on the Tampa Bay morning line. And look at that, I get to go first. And uh, once again, I actually stayed away from the favorite. I'm going to go out just a little bit further to post number 9. I've got Champion's Dream, trained by Mark Casse and ridden by Tyler Gaffneon. The horse at 4 lifetime starts has won 2 of them, and is by Justify. And I apologize. I did pull these racing forms just a little bit early, and it looks like I pulled them before Brisnet was able to go ahead and give us those that information for horses that are in Justified's category. He has been a very, very good sire early on here in his career, and I think this is one of those horses. As you see there, he won one of those little $105,000 maiden special weight events at Saratoga in his opener, and out of that, they immediately went ahead and put him into the Champagne Stakes. Ray, that's that strange track. I think it's in the Middle East somewhere. BAQ. Uh, he didn't do all that well at Belmont at Aqueduct, but he came right out of that very well and went to Aqueduct, the real Aqueduct, not the BAQ, but just the normal Aqueduct. And at that one, he was fine in the Nashua and won that race, and then came out of it in the Pasco Stakes. He was previously trained, as you see there, by Danny Gargan. He got beat by that strange named horse who's actually in this race, Zydecax, when he was the favorite. That is actually one of the angles that I like to pursue, which is beaten by or failed favorite, which you see here. Brisnet actually tracks that one for you as well. Failed his favorite in last race. So I went ahead and I'm going to use up all my time here. I went up on Champion's Dream, the number 9 horse. Joe?
Fortunately, Rich, you do not have to worry about. And I'm gonna ride this train until it breaks down. Give me the 3 classic legacy, or yes, you guessed it, Bill Mott, Junior
Junior
Alvarado.
Alvarado. There we
Alvarado.
go.
He's
Get
gotten me
that.
this far. Why stop now?
That's it.
The guys have been hot in Florida. They got me here in Gulfstream Park, but it's not just for that. Because really, Bill Mott, the one thing Bill Mott does not do particularly well is win with horses who just broke their maiden. Generally, well, not that he can't do it. He does it at about 11%. It's just not one of his specialties or what he does well. But this guy is a yes. Don't just circle the sire, Rich. Circle the dam. You know why?
No.
The dam, distorted legacy, is the mother of, drum roll please, Art Collector, who just won the Pegasus, and Art Collector also happened to win his 2-turn debut, which is the same thing Classic Legacy is going to be trying to do tomorrow. So give me 12-1 on the hottest combination in Florida: Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado, Classic Legacy, Sam Davis. Ray.
I'm gonna follow you. Nah, nah. He'll be a good mover. He will be
Pretty
on my
convincing,
ticket.
huh?
So far.
He will be on my ticket. Okay. Now, this time of year, I'm a big fan of and I love watching how top punchers horses grow, improve, get better, and things like that. So I'm on Litigate number 11. He's out of blame. He did win in Gulfstream. I mean, no, Aqueduct, and then he ran in Gulfstream, ran a good second to Cyclone Mischief, who's I think on a triple contra also, I believe. So he's improving. He's running bullets at Palm Beach Downs. Centennial Farms is a good outfit. So this horse should get better. He has a couple of 90s in his speed figures as a opener um in those conditions. So I think he's gonna get better. He's especially being out of blame. Blame he was good for distance, so no doubt this horse can stretch out more. So let's see how he runs. Size comes in to ride. Gives up his busy day at Gulfstream. So it must be his Derby horse if he could stay on him. So if he does well, so I'll take Litigate, 5-1, and see what happens. Steve,
Yeah, I'm torn here. No, I'm gonna go with the favorite. I'm gonna go with W Nil 7. Yeah, I got Jose Ortiz on board, 22% with routes.
Hmm.
Horse had a nice speed figure last time out. Uh, won his last two races on both on off tracks. So if there is a chance of an off track tomorrow. So that's probably why he's the favorite. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with W Nil here.
What does WNL mean, Steve?
You know what? I don't
I
know,
I have not a clue,
but
man.
I
I'm
love the
like,
name. It
yeah,
just
me
it
rolls off.
sounds
too.
Irish. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
It
really.
just rolls
WNL.
off the tongue nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
save this.
that was a pretty good race too. Those two opened up 11, on the rest of the field in Remsen. That was
Yeah, let me go ahead and add this to my extensive doc. It was funny actually. I went through cleaning out racing forms the other day, folks who were on this show, and then cleaning out things from like 5 years ago, as far as racing forms are concerned. So, all right, let me go ahead and you know what? Let's go ahead and enter our picks before I go ahead and bring myself back to the team. And 3, and the 9, and does that look correct to everybody? One
mm-hmm.
7 9 9. And
We're in, yeah. So just so that everybody who's watching can
yeah.
figure out first post time for race 7,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot that one.
3:27 Eastern, 12:27 Pacific. So wherever you are in the country, you make it.
I do apologize. Joe had actually reminded me about that one. So that one's down here at the very bottom. If you're looking for that on your racing forms, and you see right there, there's your post time for tomorrow's seventh race, about 3:27 East Coast time. So that should be at 12:27 out here. All right, let me go ahead and thanks for reminding me about that, Joe. And I'm going to come on back to everybody. Guys, got anything you want to add before we're firmly on the Derby Trail at this point in time with the Holy Bull in the rearview mirror and getting up on the Sam F. Davis and going into the end of February and the beginning of March, where we'll see some juicy purses, some really good points coming up for the Kentucky Derby as well. Anybody got anything they want to add before we sign off for the evening?
Two things, Rich.
Yeah,
What's next week? Which track is next week?
let me just take a peek out there. Hang on one
Which
second.
one of them?
It was
No.
Fairgrounds. I saw.
I should have left that open for
Is
us.
it the Racing Star? Is the Racing Star next week?
Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
So we've got the Risen
I believe
Star
so.
and the Rachel
Okay.
Alexandria are next week, and then after that
Okay.
is
Cool.
also Oakland Park is on February the 25th, and that'll be the Rebel.
Cool.
Rebel.
Okay. And the good thing is their PPs are usually out. They may even be out sometime tomorrow. for next Saturday. The other thing is Super Bowl picks.
Ah,
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, in no particular order, Joe, you've been chiming at this one. Why don't you lead us off?
Sure.
What is your pick?
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles to win by 6, 30-24. I think the Eagles will do enough on defense to keep Mahomes in trouble. At least again enough. The one thing, the reason the Chiefs lost to the Bucks the last time they were in the Super Bowl was because the defensive line for Tampa just dominated the Chiefs' offensive line, and Patrick Mahomes couldn't do much. And I'm hoping that, well, not hoping, but I'm expecting that Philadelphia's D line does the same thing. At least do enough to get them the victory. So 30-24, Philadelphia.
Ray, what do you think?
I'm going with the Chiefs. To win. If you want to score, I have to say maybe 34-27. I think it's
dang,
gonna be a explosive game.
a blowout.
Well, no, 7 points, not seven, one touchdown. 34-27. I think it's just gonna be a lot of offense there, and a lot of people with all the props and everything. And like last year, there was a money burner. What was his name? The guy from the Rams. The wide receiver. He burnt everybody, so I think they're gonna, you know, get the main players into action, and I think just that with Reed and Mahomes, and I think the Eagles, because I'm a Giant fan, so I watched them, and who they play and stuff, but they really haven't faced a quarterback as good as Mahomes. So this is gonna be a good test for them. If the defense holds up, the Eagles should win, but let's see. Bet on the overtime. Let's get good odds on that. Steve?
Yeah, well, I've seen a couple of statistics in the last couple of days, like Andy Reid's, I think 28-4 after with a bye week with an extra week of
Mm.
preparation. That's a tough number to overcome. However, I think Philly's offensive and defensive lines are just too dominant, and I see this kind of being. I'm rooting for Kansas City, but I don't know if they got much of a chance here. I think it's going to be 31-17 Philly.
Mm.
I'm in a strange position. I definitely think that Philadelphia is the better of the two teams. I've actually gotten a chance to watch them on a couple of occasions this year. I kind of felt that they were the best team in the NFL. Don't want to have to bring this up, but they did kind of key my fantasy football championship since three of my
Yeah, they
players
did.
were on the Philadelphia Eagles, and so I almost, feel like I have to owe them and things like that.
Yeah, you
However,
do.
I think Patrick Mahomes is a really special player, somebody that once in a, or
He is.
a generational talent, and for some strange reason, I honestly feel that he might lead his team to victory tomorrow. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, kind of in an odd score, but I'll go ahead and go with Chiefs 30 and Eagles 29.
Dang.
Rich, who won last year?
If I'm not mistaken, that would be these guys.
Yeah. They're still the champions, right?
They,
Until Sunday.
right, and yeah,
Tell Sunday.
exactly. Until somewhere
Until
around
somebody
3:30,
until somebody takes the trophy. They're still
yeah,
the
until about
champions.
3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday.
Yeah.
My team's still Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's exactly how we do it here on Tournament Horse Racing without usually the Super Bowl commentary. For Joe English and for Steve Newsom and for Ray Torado, my name is Rich Sharp. Again, the show's called Tournament Horse Racing. We'll be back next week. As you heard, we're going back down to New Orleans. Good night, everybody. Good luck. Bye.
All
All
right.
right. Good night, guys.